Yeah, we up in here. Hey, what's good with y'all, man? It's Thawahgabar for Black Authentic Truth. Southern California, where the sun is killing everything right now, and it is hot as hell. And you just got to stay out the way. You got to stay out the way of the sun. You got to stay hydrated. You got to come out at night right now in Southern California. It's just hot as hell right now. Anybody up in here, let me know if I'm sounding good, if I'm what I'm sounding like. Once again, I was trying to go at 3 o'clock Pacific Standard Time and technical difficulties, man. I don't know what. No, well, let me see. I'm gonna listen in real quick. Let's see where we at. Try to. Oh yeah, we this is excellent. This is excellent. Excellent sound. Excellent sound. So, yes, I am Thawahgabar for Black Authentic Truth. We got a lot of stories I'm going to go into. I'm going to give you the Black Authentic Truth from my perspective. And a lot of things I believe a lot of brothers and sisters will definitely agree with. You will agree with what I'm going to bring out, or my perspective, my opinion. And I just want to shout out everybody that be rocking with me, everybody that be, sharing my videos, that be liking my videos, that be commenting on my videos. That goes a long way to make Black Authentic Truth what it is right now. That all of the things y'all be doing, that has made Black Authentic Truth something that is reputable, something that is noticeable. And I just want to thank brothers and sisters for that. Okay. So what I had was I wanted to do another live search for the missing children. I'm going to bypass that because I didn't have everything ready. And so what I do is I screenshot every child I come across. I screenshot it. And so what I'm gonna do next week is I will go live. Well, during the live, I will do that. That'll be the first thing I do. In the meantime, brothers and sisters, y'all do y'all due diligence and look up these names of these missing children that are posted on social media, and do your part as far as the Black community. If you really love your people, and see what you can find out about these children, and just share the word. If you don't do anything, what goes a long way is just to share the post. Just share the post of a missing child, of a missing Black child. A lot of y'all be acting like y'all blackity black and y'all love Black people, but you'll scroll past that. But meanwhile, you're sharing some foolishness. You're sharing something that's stupid and silly, but you won't share a post of a missing child. Like, what's wrong with you? Maybe you don't really give a care, or maybe you don't care as much as you think you care, or as much as you say that you care about Black folks. You know what I mean? That's something that we like. It's easy to look at these things and scroll by, but you always got to keep it in your mind that one day it could be you. One day you could be on the end of that post saying, "Have you seen my child? Have you heard about my child?" So with the platform that I do have, I am going to more regularly push that and focus on that. Because at the end of the day, you got so many people that's podcasting and talking and have all of these viewpoints, but who really cares about Black people? Who really cares about what's really going on with Black people? Everybody, like, people just really care about themselves, because you don't never see them post the Black children. You don't never see them post the missing children. People talk about relationships. Everybody is on this relationship trend where you're just talking about a relationship. That's the only focus. Like, as if there ain't no, Black on Black crime, there ain't no missing Black children, there ain't no indoctrination of this society as far as politics. Like, there's a lot of issues that's across the board with Black people. Relationships ain't the only issue. But it just seems like people that do have a platform, and especially the people with a big platform, that's what they focused on. They focused on whatever is trending. You know what I'm saying? Whatever is trending and what is going to get the views and the likes and the shares, which is the most controversial topic right now. And I coincidentally, I'm gonna be going into some of that stuff, a video. But the most controversial of that stuff is relationship advice, or what a man should be doing, or what a woman should be doing. I get it. That's a problem too, but not as big as children coming up missing. I think children coming up missing is bigger than all of those, right? So yeah, so I got a lot of stuff I'm gonna go into. Let me check real quick. Do I have that video? Let me make sure I got that video. want to make sure I have a video, or maybe I can get one. But there's a story of a sister that called the police, and the police took her life. The officer took her life. Okay. And her name is Sonia Massey. You probably heard of the story. And let me just see real quick and see if I got it. I do have that one. I do have it. Let me get this. Mhm. Y'all give me 1 second. Let me pull this image up. And I'm going to screen share. There we go. Now, this is the sister Sonia Massey, who was unalive. Her life was taken by this diabolical officer of law enforcement, Sean Grayson. Now, the story is the sister called for help. She called the police because she felt like somebody was trying to break into her home. So she's calling for help, and him with another officer comes in, and for whatever reason, I'm gonna play the video news report. For whatever reason, she has a pot in her hand. He's telling her to put the pot down, and he pulls his weapon out on her. She ducks down. She says she's sorry, and she's hiding behind the counter, still holding the pot. And he shoots her in the face. He takes her life. All right. This sister called for help. He's been brought up on charges of murder. Deservedly so. And I'm going to talk about it a little bit. Let me just get this video of the news report. I think I could just switch.
Carson Gordy joins us with an update. Carson?
In a standing room only courtroom, prosecutors argued why former Sangamon County Deputy Sean Grayson was unjustified in shooting and killing Sonia Massey. Tonight, we've obtained the dispatch call from the night Massey was shot and killed.
Yeah, you can start 2868 Hoover, 2868 Hoover. Units on scene are 1078, shots fired.
Earlier that morning, Sean Grayson and an unnamed Sangamon County deputy responded to a 911 call from Sonia Massey, who called the police after concerns of a prowler. The deputies entered the home. The charging documents say Grayson made a comment about a pot on the stove. Massey set the pot of water down on the counter. Documents say that despite distance and relative cover, Grayson pulled his handgun and threatened to shoot Massey in the face. She then put her hands in the air and said, "I'm sorry," while ducking for cover behind a counter. Grayson got closer and continued to yell at Massey to put the pot down. He then fired 3 shots, striking her once in the face.
2868 Hoover Street, county's out requesting EMS. There's shots fired, sitting at a female shot in the head.
In court Thursday, a judge denied Grayson pretrial release after arguments that he's a danger to the community. Some people in the room erupted in applause. An Illinois State Police investigation says Grayson was not justified to use deadly force. Sangamon County prosecutors say Grayson instructed the other deputy to not provide medical aid to Massey. Grayson's lawyer argued that he is not a flight risk and that complications from colon cancer puts his safety at risk while in jail. He faces 5 criminal counts, including 3 counts of first-degree murder. He faces life in prison if convicted. Grayson.
Now, y'all heard the story. This sister called the police because she thought somebody was breaking into her home. Now, a lot of times they say black people don't respect the police. They don't like the police. And there's a certain element in the black community that is true. That is true. But Black people do recognize that you need law enforcement, that you do need officers for certain situations. And then you, in the need of help, are in fear of something, are in fear of your life, call the police, and they come and take your life. Now, this coward, you see the picture here. He got a skulls tattooed on his arm. He seems like he's unstable anyway. It doesn't make any sense in how he took this sister's life. And it's just so sad because she's expecting for them to come check things out and just make sure no one is trying to break in her house. She's not expecting that this is going to be her last day alive. That call that she made is the last call she would ever make. And for her, and just to hear the story of her saying, but I'm sorry. She's looking at a damn monster with a gun that is supposed to protect and serve. And now the tables done turned so quickly where she's in fear of her life, bowing down, saying, I'm sorry. And this devil shoots her in the face. This beautiful sister gone. Why? Why? It makes no damn sense. And so Black people are stuck in between a rock and a hard place because you want to reach out because you're thinking of the the greater good. You thinking in your mind, law enforcement are here to protect and serve. They're here to help out. They're going to fix the problem. They're going to fix the issue. And you call them thinking that they're coming to save the day. And a lot of times, many times, they're coming to destroy the rest of the day. They're not coming to save the day. You have many episodes where people have called. Let's just say you have a loved one that has a mental illness. They acting up, and it's an older woman, and she can't control her son, or she can't control her brother, or whatever, and they're flipping out. They didn't take their medication or whatever, and you call the police, which now we know is the wrong thing to do, and they come and unalive your loved one. You call them so you can get help, so you can get some muscle. Now, this sister, and I don't want y'all to take this as a knock to this sister, but she's in fear that somebody is trying to break into her home, so she calls the police. What is the substitute to that? What is the substitute to that? What could she have had there with her where she wouldn't have to call the police? A man. A man there with her to go and check things out. A family. I don't know if she has family. And let me just say, I'm making this point in no disrespect to this sister, because this is horrible and sad what happened to her. But her recourse was to call. She hearing sounds in the house and thinking somebody's trying to break into her house, and maybe they were. But if there was a man in that home, not saying that she was the type of woman to say, I don't need a man, but I'm just saying if there was a man or a family, some sons, even some daughters, grab some pots with some some grits or something in it to throw on somebody. But my point is that a lot of times you're vulnerable when you're alone. And so all she has to call is the police, and not expecting that the police officer that gets there is going to take her life for nothing. This is just a sad, sad story. It really pisses me off. This was a beautiful sister that seemed like she was kind-hearted and sweet, and had to beg for her life after calling from help from some diabolical devil. It's just sad, man. It's sad. It's sad. Right. A man and a gun. It'll be nice if she, you know, had a shotgun in that house. You know, just to be able to say, well, if it's somebody out there, you better move quick because what I got is gonna put a hole in you. You better get the hell up out of here. But yeah, this is just a sad story. You know, I hope that her family gets the justice and that devil sits and rots in prison for the rest of his life. Because it's unconscionable how this could even happen or why he did it. And he seems like he's a little bit something's wrong with him, like he's a psychopath. That's what a lot of law enforcement are. There are a lot of psychopaths that's wearing badges. Remind me of that psychopath that hopped out and within a second he shot Tamir Rice. Then he got fired, then he got another job, and he got another job. It's a lot of psychopaths with badges, with the authority to take people's lives. And so as black folks, like we stuck. What's the answer to this though? And I said one, having a man or having a family in the house, you know, a hedge of protection. But another thing is black people coming together, sticking together, fighting back together, policing it. I was talking about this in another video. I said, basically, I said, we have the ability to police ourselves. We don't want to, but we do have the ability. When we're mad enough, we can go find the nigga that did it. The community can hunt down the nigga that did it when we're mad enough. Now imagine if we applied that to everything. At least you know if black people were patrolling and protecting the community, you don't have to worry about this type of crap. You don't have to worry about some devil coming in there and taking a sister's life for nothing, for absolutely nothing. I don't know, y'all. What y'all think? What y'all think? This don't make no sense, man. None at all. It's just to hear the story of this sister. She's she's basically bowing down to this devil, Sean Grayson, hands over her head saying she's sorry, crouched down, and he shoots 3 shots at her and hits her in the face. She's basically begging for her life. Let's just keep it 100. Let's keep it transparent. Let's keep it 1,000. This sister was begging for her life. She thought she was in fear that someone was breaking into her home. Now she's in fear of a child of the corn with a gun in his hand yelling at her and actually takes her life. What a horrible way to lose your life. When you think you're getting help and the person that's supposed to be helping you takes your fucking life. So I'm sorry. Excuse me. I'm angry from this story. This story makes me mad. It pisses me off because I love my people. That's why. All this is passion. You know, that's all y'all. That's it. Nothing more. But yeah. So let me get this other story.
I have something to show your wife.
All right.
He's about to me. He got something coming for him. It's like, he's in my house right now. He's in my living room. Asked him to leave and he will not leave. But it's cool. It's cool. Stay there because now I have something to show your wife. Mr. Robert, I don't want to do that anymore.
Okay, then you got the month's rent?
Can I just please have a little bit more time?
No, look, you know the deal. And we've done this before, and I think it's a pretty good deal for you.
Let me just preface this. Let me just tell y'all, because y'all probably don't know what's going on. This is a sister who apparently she had a deal. She's been dealing with her landlord, and she's unable to pay her rent. And so doesn't specify, but she's been giving him sexual favors for rent, and now she's recording it, and she's threatening to tell his wife. Okay, so let's listen to this.
He got something coming for him. It's like, he's in my house right now. He's in my living room. Asked him to leave and he will not leave. But it's cool. It's cool. Stay there because now I have something to show your wife. Mr. Robert, I don't want to do that anymore.
Okay, then you got the month's rent?
Can I just please have a little bit more time?
No, look, you know the deal. And we've done this before, and
But it's cool. It's cool.
You said you can't hear? You can't hear me, or you can't hear the video I'm playing? Y'all let me know. Karl Masbach, when you say you can't hear the video, or you can't hear the video, can everybody, is it that everyone can't hear the video? Let me see. Let me just see. I'm gonna screen share from where I actually got it. We'll do it that way. Let's just drop this real quick. That's weird. Let's see where. Let me see.
Stay there because
Can you hear it
now I
now?
have something to show your wife. Mr. Robert, I don't want to do that anymore.
okay, then you got the
What did that sound like? It's good, Renee? Okay. So I'm gonna start it from the top.
He got something coming for him. It's like, he's in my house right now. He's in my living room. Asked him to leave and he will not leave. But it's cool. It's cool. Stay there because now I have something to show your wife. Mr. Robert, I don't want to do that anymore.
okay, then you got the month's rent?
Can I just please have a little bit more time?
No, look, you know the deal. And we've done this before, and I think it's a pretty good deal for you. I mean, you don't have to pay anything.
Okay, and what would your wife think?
Don't worry about her.
I told you that last time was the last time. So,
Okay, well, you don't seem to get it. You're either gonna take your clothes off and do what we did before. I mean, we've done it twice already. So we can do it again just like that. Nobody has to know.
I'm just gonna have to tell your wife, Mr. Ross.
Oh, okay. I'll put her out on the street just like I'll put your ass out on the street.
Damn. Did y'all hear that? Now, this situation is a very sad situation. It's sad that a sister have to be put in a position where she has to prostitute herself in order to keep a roof over her head. Not just in this situation, but whether it be prostitution, stripping, whatever the case may be, tricking, whatever it is, it's a sad thing for our sister, our women, to have to be put in a position where they have to sell their soul in order to have a roof over their head. Now you have this sister with, obviously she has done things previously with this man, this sicko, and she's threatening this time. It's the video starts out with her actually saying that she's going to show the video to his wife. So in her mind, she believes that this will be the thing that will make him stop, not wanting to have relationships with her, as far as relations with her. You understand? And she thinks in her mind that by saying, well, I'm gonna show it to your wife, that's going to stop his advances. And he's like, I don't give a damn. I'll put her on the street and I'll put you on the street because I pay all the bills. And so it kind of like backfires. But this sister, for whatever reason, she messed up by doing it the first time. And the most I can say is I would never want to see anybody I love as a woman doing something like that with one of these pink people in order to survive. And I don't want to sound like the same as I sound in the last video, but a man would have, like when you have two people, even though they may not have nothing, they can still survive and build something. They can still make it without selling their soul, without doing something demoralizing. So if she was to have a man and you wonder like why she don't have a man, she probably wouldn't have to do this. They probably could work something out where they can both survive. They could both work a part-time job and, survive, where you don't have to go to that limit in order to say, okay, I have a place to stay. But this dirty dog, he don't even care. She done gave him some or whatever. I don't know. We don't know what it is. We just know it's a sexual favor. And he wants more and he's not stopping. And so now she's forced to either go on the streets or to give him what he wants. I'm gonna play the rest of the video. Let me see.
Don't worry, I pay her rent too.
Okay, that was the video.
I ain't even gonna lie.
So, what y'all think? What is y'all thoughts on that? I know I got a lot of sisters that rock with me, a lot of brothers that rock with me. What are y'all thoughts, man? I just feel that I wish our sisters wasn't in that position. And it takes me back to what I know for sure when it comes to prostitution and it comes to stripping is that in order to choose to do something like that, you're already messed up from the gate. You don't just choose to do something like that and you have a healthy, normal mindset. They don't go together. There's a lot of backstory, trauma, and tragedy and all kind of things in that backstory in order for your mind to even think that is a plausible way to survive, or even look at it like that's what I want to do. That's what I aspire to do. There's definitely something wrong with you that happened in your childhood. And a lot of times, I say most times, it's sexual abuse, or it's abuse period, and mistreatment and neglect as a child. No. Anyway, man, let me slide. I'm about to go to the next video. I just thought that was real. That was horrible, you know. And the sister kind of, you can tell she's young, and she doesn't know how to just leave and say, you know what, I'd rather be, broke and homeless than to have to give my body up to this old pink devil. But Ratanawa says it's disgusting and wish this sister had someone in her corner so she didn't have to go that route. I agree. And that's like a cry for help right there, just making a video and then posting it on social media. Although his face is blurred out, because I think by law, you can't record people if they don't want to be recorded. Like if you're secretly recording them, it wouldn't stand like in court, but I think you can record people if you're in a public place. But obviously she got her camera set up in a way where he's not realizing he's being recorded, video recorded. But yeah, she definitely needs somebody in her corner to get her up out of that situation. She definitely needs a older woman in her corner, a older sister, to tell her you don't have to do that. There's other ways about going about living as a woman. We all struggle, but you don't have to succumb. You don't have to go that low in order to make it, or in order to say you have a place where you can stay. Okay. Yeah. So let me get this other video. So the reason I played this video is because you see somebody that is obviously very physically disabled, that is in the gym, getting it in, trying to lift some weights. And as I watched that video, I was impressed. I was inspired. I was motivated. And the point I'm wanting to make is that when it comes to us, we have no excuse. If somebody like that can get out there on a regular, consistent basis and just try, what excuse do we have of people who have, you have all your limbs, you can walk, you can move regularly, you're in decent health, but you make excuses. And I'm talking about myself. But a lot of people make every excuse in the world not to do something, not to, in this case, go work out, change your eating habits, change how you think, change your mindset. People have so many excuses. And I said, well, look at people like this. They put us to shame. Now, I used to regularly go to the gym about a year ago, and then my schedule changed. And so it was a little harder to go to the gym. It was a little harder to go. And it's because of the time. It's because of the time that the gym is open. You know, I have every excuse of why I'm not, you know, why I haven't been on my game, on my routine. But you know what? I really don't. I really, there really is no excuse. So that's the reason for me playing this video, is because it's just to help brothers and sisters realize, like, man, whatever it is that you've been talking about, you trying to do, you want to do that thing. Do it. Do it. Make all the excuses in the world. But yet you got people that don't got arms and legs and they doing it. Doing all kind of things, you know. You got people in the world that ain't got, and they ain't got time to talk about what they ain't got, why they can't do it, this and that, and every excuse in the world. They don't have no time for that. They just got to get it. And so I'm telling you, brothers and sisters, that you may be feeling that, you may be on the edge to even try something different, try something new, do that thing. Don't be afraid. Just do it. Just step out and do it. Reinvent yourself. You've been wanting to change your ways. You've been wanting to put down the weed. You've been wanting to, you know, stop drinking. Whatever it is, do that thing. Don't make no excuse about it. I promise you, you're gonna feel 1,000% better when you realize it was just as easy as just doing it. And all that fear that you had, all of that anxiety about trying something different or failing, man, it's gonna be gone. Listen, after this live, I'm going to the gym. I ain't been in the gym. Gym been taking my money. Been taking that $24.99 every month, just eating off of me. And I ain't been, but I'm gonna go. Just know that whatever it is you want to do, you gotta start somewhere and just do that thing. All right. Let me see. Oh yeah, that's what I want to talk about too. So I can go back here. Let me just go back where I was at. Yeah. So I want to talk a little bit about horoscopes, right? When it comes to the horoscopes. Black people, man. Black people is crazy about them zodiac signs. You know? And the zodiac signs, basically, there's a lot of different horoscopes when it comes to astrology, when it comes to, you know, charts, and it goes all the way back to ancient Babylon. These are practices that go back to ancient kingdoms. and they just been passed down. Well, the category of naval or nativity horoscopes, which Black people are indoctrinated in, that's the thing that we're locked in, meaning that, you know, the time when you're born and those zodiac signs. And it's just crazy because it's based on the date that you were born, and there's 12. And so with these signs, you have certain characteristics. So you get Black people, in particularly, it's always Black women, right? That say the first thing that come out their mouth is, "What's your sign?" As if that is as though who you are is predetermined because of your sign. A lot of times people won't even deal with people because they hear, "Oh, your sign is this. Oh, I can't, my sign don't mix with your sign, or you this type of person, so I can't, I won't, it won't work." When everybody could have similar traits. I'm just here to say that that stuff ain't real. It ain't never been real. You have people that wholeheartedly believe in it and they live by it. So they say, and the only reason why I know, because in the world, okay, before I started understanding, I started believing and seeing the world differently, and I came into the truth. Before that, I wasn't even into signs, but in the Black community, you typically know, even if you're not into it, it's kind of like the Bible. All Black people know John 3:16. Even though they don't go to church, they can tell you John 3:16. For God so loved the world, blah, 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 right? Well, when it comes to signs, most Black people know at least their sign, even though they're not into it. It's just because it's so strong in the Black community. So my sign would have been Aquarius, and I guess there's certain traits that people say that Aquarius have. And it's like, if you don't know me, I'm already, and that's what you believe, I'm already predestined to be how you believe this, what the signs say, what they say about a person in that particular month when they're born in that month, which is crazy to me because there's thousands of people. And you mean to tell me that these hundreds of thousands of people are reduced to 12 different signs as far as their personality characteristics? That is insane. Doesn't make any sense. And it's not real. Also, what signs do is they basically allow you to live in your bad behavior. So you'll hear people say, or you'll hear women say that, "Oh, I'm a Cancer." They'll do something and say, "Well, I'm this, I'm a Sagittarius, I'm a Virgo, I'm a Gemini. That's why I did it." As though, like, once again, it's predetermined what your personality is, your characteristics, the way you act, the violence that you portray, the violence that you commit. You say, well, that I'm this, that's, and so what it does is it excuse bad behavior, and it's not real. And everybody has the potential to have different characteristics. You can't just say a person born in a certain month is certainly going to be a certain way. That's not even reality. But why do we follow this thing so wholeheartedly in the Black community? Why is it so strong with us? I have my perspective. It's because we don't have an identity. Because we are people that are lost sheep, right? We are people that don't have no knowledge of ourselves. Okay? So anything that doesn't make sense, we try to make sense of it. And we add it to our repertoire of beliefs because we believe in so many different things in the Black community. And it's simply because we were stripped of our identity during the transatlantic slave trade. That's the main reason why. And so we're always looking for something to identify with and to stand out with. And so when you look at our community, that's why we are heavy into the zodiac signs in the Black community. And then these supposed to have predetermined things and be able to, the horoscope is supposed to tell you your future and all of that. But none of that can fix the Black community. None of that has, listen, you basing your soulmate on, what their sign is, and you're single till you're 60 years old. I thought the zodiac sign is supposed to tell you who the right person is for you. I thought you were supposed to find your soul, your soul tie, your soul match. You're supposed to match by using them zodiac signs. That ain't happening. That ain't happening for no one. It's not real. Okay. It's not real. It's childish. And in the Black community, we need to just let it go. Okay. Yeah. So let me get, I got a video. Remember I was talking about marriage. Okay. This is a good video of a discussion of some intelligent Black people on a panel. If you up in here, make sure you like and share the video, man. Get them likes up. I can't even see the likes, but I'm assuming ain't nobody liked the video. Make sure you like the video. You up in here. You know what I'm saying? Show a real one some real love. Keep it Black and authentic. Let me get this video. This is a good video.
Who's on marriage?
Hold on one second. Let me drop this. Remove that. Boom. Okay.
What are your views on marriage? Amy?
It's not for me.
Okay. You don't want to get married ever?
No.
Wow, friend, I did not know that.
I don't.
Why?
I just want to just be with a person and just date and just be faithful with them. I don't want to do the whole, all of that. I'm good. I just don't want to do it.
We'll talk about that deeper later.
I
Cuddy?
wasn't expecting that.
I would love a wedding without the paperwork.
What?
No, I mean, I believe in marriage. I do. But I don't need it. I don't need it. I see so many people like be miserable based on trying to attain that, that I just don't want that to be like an ultimate goal of mine and then feel like I'm missing out on everything in between just because I'm trying to like lock somebody in or like be validated by that specific title. So like I really care about the quality of relationships more than the title. So
Okay.
I really
That's good.
What you got to say?
I've never heard this from a group of women before in my entire life. This is wild.
Okay, let's
Times are
let's see. We're gonna get out. Let's see what the last one has to say so far. Crystal, what about you? What do you think of marriage?
I want to get married.
Okay, you want to be a wife?
I want to be a wife. I want to get married. I mean, was I that kid that grew up dreaming about their wedding? No, not necessarily. I've been through a lot, but it still never shut off the fact that was something that I wanted.
Okay.
It's always been a goal for me, but if it don't happen, it won't make or break me. But I do want to be married. People like to say marriage is a business with the paperwork and, all of that and how it goes, licenses, y'all become one, all of that. That's a part of being one, and I believe that's why it is that way. But for me, it's just like, I don't know, marriage is that, it's a title. It's the title for me, not something that I just like, oh, I went through hell to get here.
Yeah.
Because I don't want that.
Yeah.
If you got to do me bad before you do me good, I don't want to marry you.
Right.
I feel like I want to marry that person that come into my life that's a breath of fresh air. Everything is positive. Not to say things gonna be perfect, but with the right person, you're gonna work through it, and things won't be that terrible. Those bad times won't be, oh, he cheated on me, oh, he got somebody pregnant. Them is not situations or people that you want to be with.
Yeah.
I want to be with.
Right. Let me see. She's talking a lot. Let me skip to. Okay.
on this question because now I'm going to introduce the topic. Marriage is a business. True or false? Anton.
True. And as a matter of fact, marriage is best for poor people.
Okay. And what?
It's because marriage is designed for people that don't have anything, for them to be able to get ahead, because you can pull 10 times your weight with two people versus pulling double your weight just by yourself. And so that's where, you know, the understanding of it, and I'm not even gonna get into the spiritual aspect of it, but the understanding of it from a business perspective, by default, women look at it from a business perspective because they want the best available option. That's what makes them hypergamous, right? They want a guy that meet expectations, and that's why they're trained not to date based off of potential, but to date based off of where a guy already is.
Security.
Which, conversely, which women don't understand, is that it's no incentive for a guy that's already there.
All right, let me see. So basically, you heard the sisters. You had two sisters that didn't want to get married. You had a sister that wanted to get married. And then you had the brother. The question was, is marriage a business? Yes, marriage is a business. The brother said, he said, yes, it is a business. And he gave his reasons why. There's always this question of whether or not black people should get married or not in our community, especially now on social media. It's not weird, but it's crazy to see that a people that once stayed married for 40, 50 years no longer feel as though marriage is important, or it's important to stay with one person that you're with. Now, when you want to look at history, okay, in history, like the idea that we have, let's just say monogamy, or just the marriage with the marriage certificate, the ring, not the ceremony, but the ring, or the throwing of the rice. All of these things come from ancient Rome. Okay, now in ancient times and antiquity, marriage wasn't just a monogamous thing. It wasn't looked at as just a monogamous thing, but in ancient Rome made it a law that you can only marry one person at a time, monogamy. Okay. We know biblically that's not the case. In just with other cultures, that's never been the case, even today. So the viewpoint that black people have for marriage here in America comes from ancient Rome, which is a partnership, egalitarianism, which they called it in Rome, where it was a partnership. Okay, it's a business contract. And I think people get so caught up on the idea of marriage, the wedding, the ceremony, all of those things, and that's why people today ain't even staying together. Now, our ancestors, there's a book, and I can't remember the book right now, but I have the book. It's crazy. It's complete. It's the history of the black family from slavery. The history of the black family, from the book is called The History of the Black Family from Slavery. But anyway, it basically, they done research and they done statistics on black people from slavery on up into around the 1940s, and black people stayed together 40 and 50 years. Now you're talking about our ancestors that was just jumping the broom. They didn't have money. They didn't have fabulous weddings. They didn't have money to buy diamond encrusted rings, but they stayed together. And our children were more likely to be in a two-parent household. Now, when you look at us today, you like, damn, what happened? Why are we not staying together? It's because black people have divested and put so much energy in the part of the marriage that really don't mean anything, which is the marriage contract and the ring. We don't forgot about how to actually deal with one another, how to be patient with one another. We don't forgot all of that. We don't have that in us anymore. We have to relearn that in the black community. And so what the brother say? You're right. The government aid did stop that. It did stop that. And I wouldn't just say government aid stopped us being together. just by itself, you got to throw unemployment in there too. You got to throw the ability, because the ability to survive is what every man wants to do and wants to be able to take care of his family. Every man, you won't find a man that doesn't want to survive. I don't care if you go to black men in the worst neighborhoods, in the worst ghettos today. Their core instinct is to want to survive. That is a trait that every human being wants and every man desires. I don't care if you go to the hood, if you go to the favelas in Brazil, San Paul, anywhere in the poorest places, people want to be able to survive and will do what they got to do. But you can't help it if you don't have the resources or if you're unable to get the employment and just get those basic necessities in order to survive, those resources. And so that hurt the black family. That hurt us not being able to stand on our 10 toes. Now, before integration, black men were able to do that. Black men were able to be self-sufficient and do for self. But then when integration came, we had to now depend on the system, because now we have to go to another people for a job. And before we were creating our own jobs, but now we have to go to another person to give us a job. So that put us at a disadvantage right there. Then they throw in the welfare system, and that's what we got. We have the destruction of the black family, and we lost a lot of the love that we had between black men and black women for just staying together and sticking together. And we live in a society where it says, just run it up, run 100,000 miles of bodies on your body, sleep with whoever you want to sleep with. If you upset and you're not happy, leave this person and get with this person. So our culture has turned into a culture of just running through people and looking at it temporary. And a lot of people go into marriage nowadays already with an exit plan. They already get it, whether it's marriage or you just getting with somebody. A lot of black people, black men, black women get together already with in the back of their mind with an exit plan. It's not how can I say, it's not genuine anymore. It's more about instant happiness. And once you're not happy anymore, then things change and y'all fall apart and break away. And then it's on to the next. So that is the destruction of the black family. But I appreciate like panels like this just to get into the mind and hear how black women and black men think and how they see marriage. Another thing is, when it comes to our community, is we got to get back to courting people. That was part of our heritage as a people. And it's not something that is outdated. It's something that will protect you from getting with the wrong person. Nowadays, people are just dating. And in my opinion, I think people, when they say date, you're like dealing with a person and you're having sex. And then y'all fall out, then you're dating someone else. But we really need to court one another with no sex. Just get to know a person and get to understand them and figure them out. And so what we're doing is just hopping in bed with people. Then 2 weeks later, because you don't know the person, now you're mad at each other and you break up, and now you're on to the next. So we have a lot of stuff we got to get rid of in the black community. And until we face that, we will continue to have black men and black women that don't trust marriage, that don't trust being with somebody, that don't want to get married. They only want to date, sleep around with people for the rest of their life. That's what I got on that. Right? You said quick fixes and pleasure. We all indulge in pleasure, but too much. Let me put this up. He said, Tyrell said, quick fixes and pleasure. We all indulge in pleasure, but too much of it can make you dependent. That's right. That's right. Quick fixes and pleasure. We're caught up in that. See, as a father, what I want to do is I'm going to give my daughters away to a young man after meeting his father, and this young man will have to be worthy to be with my daughter and get so I can give my approval. They will court one another, get to know one another, no sex, none of that. And because there's none of that, if they don't like one another, or if they feel like it's not going to work out, they can separate with no strings attached. And that's something we've never learned. I didn't learn. You didn't learn. Nobody has learned that. And that's what we got to get back to, because we're in this game of sleeping around and, trying people out. And so, of course, no one is ever going to want to get married because everybody is so stuck on instant gratification, sex, having fun, having a lot of fun real quick. And then later on, when it's really time to see how a person really is, how she really act, how he really act, now everybody is pointing the finger. Everybody is blaming one another when y'all didn't even take time to get to know each other. So of course, it can never work that way. It can never work that way. Yeah, so let me move on. All right. Got two more for you, and then I'll be up out of here. I got an excellent video. This video I'm gonna go into is going to actually go into some of the stuff I just said. You said our environment plays a role, but we still have some control. You're damn right. We got all the control. We got the control. A black man got control of his penis, and a black woman should have control of when she opens or closes her legs. You know what I'm saying? Like, we have control. And yeah, this is a messed up world. This is a world that pushes sexual activity on us through the images, through the movie, through the media. But we definitely have to have self-control. We definitely have to see our community for what it really has become and stop faking the funk. Like, there's some special answer when we have all the answers. All we got to do is look back and look at our ancestors and how they got down. The answer is right there, Now, this is an excerpt from a program in 1970 with a panel of black women. And I just want you to peep the consciousness of these sisters and what they're focused on in the 1970s versus black women today. Okay.
Overlook the fact that black women have been for the white nation. They have sucked us dry. That we have nursed the children, we have fed them, we have done everything, put all our energies, all our work into working for the white family. And now it's time for us to take all our strength, all the strength that Monahan says we have. We're supposed to be the strongest women anyway. It's time for us to take all our strength, all our milk, all of that, and put it into working for the black nation.
I'd like to touch on something here. I'm glad you brought this up, and I don't know what reaction this is going to get because a lot of people jump at me when I say it. But unfortunately, all people in this country, black people and white people, are subjugated to the same system of media, are subjugated to the same...
The white man. You take into consideration how the black man has been berated by the white man. His woman, adequately couldn't have the luxuries of another woman born the same just like her. This man has to, black men have stood by for a very, very long time and been humiliated by the system. He can't get the job that this fella can get. And you must understand that his wife might have to go on welfare. He has to stay in the humility of that. He has to watch the plumber duck if the welfare worker come in there. You understand me? He has always been like made to feel he's below the next man. So you must, all this you must come, take into consideration. Now black men are learning, that they're part. They're beginning to feel like a man. They're getting their dignity and their pride back. So he needs a woman to keep on pushing him. Vice versa, When you say about, in the system, this system has destroyed actually the black man, because everything that we've ever done, there's no part of this country that you can say, if you touch that a black man didn't bring it in here. Everything that they built, they've never been able to share with it. I don't even want to hear that, What society have done just took our black men and destroyed their manhood. That's what they've done. They ain't abetted.
So let me just tell you, all of these sisters are from different walks of life. They have their own things going on, and they're on this panel. But you just heard that sister was talking about how basically white supremacy has destroyed the black man, and how he has to watch his woman go without the things that the white woman have, and not be able to get the jobs and have the lifestyle that he wants, and feel like he's less than. And this system has done it. This is what this sister is saying. Now I'm just scrubbing through this, and I just want you to see the mindset of a lot of these sisters.
What the brothers are going through now, as you say, the cultural nationalism. But mightn't it all be very revolutionary, and you might be the better woman for understanding that they, at this point, they need you to walk a few feet behind and get their manhood together. So if it takes that, then I'm going to do whatever the brothers need now. I mean, I've been doing a lot of research on slavery, and talk about wiping out and ripping off a people. They did it to the black man. They did it. And if it takes, at this point, a cultural nationalist say you got to walk 4 paces behind me, baby, slow. If that might be revolutionary, I'll do that. I mean, I'm going to do anything at this point that's needed.
Is that revolutionary? How revolutionary is it if one half of us is in condescension and a kind of almost fear saying
Now you got to go and watch this yourself. It's called The Black Woman, and it's titled The Black Woman 1970. This hostess, this sister right here, of course, her, you can just look at the way she looks. And I'm not saying she's not beautiful. I'm talking about her hair. She's steadily trying to, you can tell she's poisoned with feminism in all of her points that she's trying to make. And these sisters are rebuttaling her as far as her attacks on the black men. Okay. But anyway, y'all go check this out on your own. Okay. But I'm gonna scrub through some more. Well, let me get this sister. We get a little bit from each sister.
We shouldn't be sitting here talking about defining something which has been defined for us. We should be about redefinition. And I don't particularly care whether I walk alongside, in back of, or in front of. That is going to have to be defined for me by my man.
Did you hear that? Look at that sister. Look how she looking. She said she don't care if she's walking behind, on the side, in front of. That will be defined by her man. Just look at the mind state of the sisters. They are all about black people. You got to think this is 1970. This is not too far removed. This is 10 years after the civil rights movement. This is about 20 years after Jim Crow. So everything is very fresh as far as the struggle that we have went through.
We know too well what our being is all about in the United States of Europe. We have to deal with that. That's why I started out by saying, are we talking about changes within existing systems? Because that's all we're talking about. We're talking about a black nation within a European nation. And if we have to deal with that, then let's redefine our own culture and stop being a subculture. Stop worrying about the man. That's deifying him. Who is?
She said we have to worry about a black nation within another culture. This is the conscious level that we done lost. Now you have brothers and sisters that still understand this, still understand that as black people in America, we are not a part of that greater society. We have our own culture within that society. Many of our people feel like excuse me, many of us our people feel like they are a part of it. So they're hard. They go hard for the Republican Party, the Democratic Party. But we have forgot that we are a people unto ourselves. And it's just crazy. It's refreshing, actually, to hear these sisters talk like this when you'll never hear that today. It's rare, very rare, probably 1 in 1,000. You know what I mean?
The man, you know.
I agree with you, except, sorry, go ahead, Amelia.
No, I just wanted to mention in terms of cultural nationalism and what, you know.
Let me skip down real quick. Because this sister asked her a question and she really went in.
It relates to what you said earlier about the black nation, right?
Exactly.
I'm not sure I understand what you mean by the black nation.
I mean, black people's lives, being self-determining, defining yourself, naming yourself, and having political power. We're a nation already without political power and military power. We're a cultural nation without political.
She said, we're a nation already without military and political power. They do look at black people as a nation. That, well, when it comes to finances, I think they say like we're around, we rank among nations, black Americans, as far as like the money we make. I think, don't quote me on this, but it was in the trillions, and we were like number 11 as far as the money. Like even now, and I'm gonna just sidebar, even now, you know, we don't, money is not an issue with us today. Money is not an issue with black people as far as like surviving or whatever. It's the mindset that's the issue with us now. Like, even if they were to give us reparations, and I'm gonna touch on that later with the Black Authentic Truth story, even if we were to get reparations, black people, because of our mindset, will still be locked in that old mindset. So it wouldn't do us no good to have a lot of money now that we are destroyed as a people, as far as the way we think and the way we live and what we think is okay and what we call good and what we call bad. But let me get back to this.
The military power. We're a nation, you know, in captivity by another people.
We're a nation in captivity by another people. This is 1970, black woman. Where's my black women at like this? Where are my sisters at like this that understand what the real is? She said we're a nation without we're already a nation without any political power and no military power. And we're a nation that's in captivity to this day. To this day. Let me just tell you something. You probably think you're free, but if black people got together and said, you know what? We want to separate. We want to create our own republic. We want to separate. We want to all leave. All the descendants of the slave, we want to go somewhere else. Do you know that will create a civil war? Do you know that you will become public enemy number one? They would be like, oh, hell no, y'all not about to leave. And the main part is in the psyche of America, what they truly believe is that they've always believed, they always thought this. And they always sent, you know, informants and CIA in to infiltrate any black group because they always thought that these people that they once had enslaved will uprise and turn on them and get revenge for what happened to their ancestors. Not understanding that black people are meek and they just want to be left alone. Black people don't even want to fight back. We have become docile and we just want to be left alone. We just want to be able to live our lives. And even within that, they believe that we will turn. If we was to get up and try to leave and go somewhere, they would turn on us. We would turn on them. That's how they really truly believe. Any black organization, every black organization that has any type of power or any type of strength as far as their foundation, they have attempted to infiltrate, or they have infiltrated just because they want to know everything that we got going on. And as long as we act like fools, and as long as we, you know, rapping about stuff that don't matter and all of that foolishness, they're okay with that. They're absolutely okay with that, because that is not a threat. That is non-threatening. But when you stand on your 2 feet and you say, I want to leave, you'll find out real soon that you are a nation within a nation. You are in captivity to this day.
People who have a totally different culture than we have, who cannot even relate to the things that we relate to. That is the problem. And as black women, we have to be the inspiration for the nation, for our men. We have to start out into the community educating the children, educating ourselves. Because once we educate ourselves, the children will become educated, because we are the ones that teach the children. We are the ones that decorate the homes. We are the ones that are with both female and male children. We are the ones that the children look to as the image in terms of their daily education. So it is important that we don't get our values mixed up.
Jump at me when I say it, but
oh man, that sister is dropping bombs. She's dropping bombs. I don't know if y'all heard what she said, but she said the black woman has to be the inspiration to the nation. She's the one that raises the children, male and female. She's the one that decorates the home. Like the level of consciousness of what was going on even back then and what was needed to be done within the home and for our people that these sisters had is just crazy, but it's inspiring, because I know there's still sisters that are just like this today. We're talking about 1970. So if they had children, their children is in their 40s, probably in their 30s, 40s, or 50s today, you know. But, you know, you see brothers like this all the time throughout history. But to see sisters that was on this type of time back then is just awe-inspiring. It's just dope. Let me finish it up.
And feel that we have to educate the world. We haven't first educated ourselves. It's still always a self thing.
Indeed.
I mean, the world will relate to us once we can relate to ourselves. I mean, I think we're afraid of definitions and afraid to set guidelines because we might have to live by them. If you stand up and say a black woman should do this and that, then you might have to do that. But if you say, well, we don't have to say anything, you know, we can just do it. Do what? So like everybody can.
You heard that sister said? She said, I feel like we're scared to set guidelines because then we have to do it. I feel this way when we talk about, especially when I talk about getting off drugs, and I'm talking about, and when I say you got to stop smoking weed, or in the truth where we say you got to change, like that's setting a standard that a lot of black people don't want to do. Like you tell a black man, stop chasing Karens. You tell a black woman, stop being, 304s. You don't have to do that. It's like you're putting a standard out there that a lot of our people don't want to adhere to. Because if you're going to say it, then that means you got to do it. That means that you got to stand on your 10 toes and do it. And so that's why in the black community, nothing never gets done as far as progress or changing the narrative, because nobody wants to set the standard. Because everybody knows they have to do it. Now you can talk the talk, but can you walk the walk? Are you willing to do it? 9 times out of 10, ain't nobody willing to do it. Everybody talk about what we need to do and stop gun violence and do this and do that. But are you willing to start doing, like, okay, if you want to see a change in your community, right? How about you stop selling drugs first? How about you stop doing drugs first? How about you stop buying them? Put the drug dealer out of business. You know, a funny story. This is like 12 years ago. It's when I stopped smoking weed, and I used to smoke weed every day, all day. That's why I'm an expert on saying on those videos I'll be making about, weed is it's addictive just like any other drug. You a fiend, no different than the dope fiend. That's why I say stuff like that, because I lived it. Okay. But when I stopped smoking weed, right? Me and my brother Regalia, when we was getting blunts we would smoke like I think I would smoke about 5 blunts a day. I don't know. That to me, that's slight, but about 5 blunts a day we would smoke. And when I quit, I kid you not, the weed man would come and hang out by my house. Like, I used to go to his house. This nigga would come and hang out by the house. I come outside on my way to go do something. He out there, hey, what's up, man? I ain't seen you in a while. And I'm like, damn, like that's how much money I was spending with you. Till you came and started hanging around. Now who's the fiend? You know what I'm saying? But when I say put the drug dealer out of business, that's what we'll have to do in our community. We'll have to put the drugs down. If we want to see the change in our community, we'll have to start with ourselves. But are we willing to do it? We can talk it, but are we willing to do it? That's what this sister was just saying, which is beautiful. Beautiful. Let me keep going. Let me see. It's a little more.
Do their own thing. But every society needs a value system. Every society has a criteria in which they live by.
And we live by everybody else's.
Exactly.
Right. We should have an
She said every society has a value system. Every people has a rules by what they live by. Listen, in our community, we no longer have those rules. Our rules is whatever America say the rules is. If it's okay in America to dress like a 304, that's the rule with Black people. If it's okay in America to live our alternative lifestyle, that's the rule. Our rules don't even come from us anymore. We don't even stand on nothing. We don't stand on nothing that's right no more in our community. But I'm not saying people like this don't exist. Sisters like this don't exist anymore. I'm just saying we done got very far away from this. And just to see what type of time sisters was on back then is just amazing. So yeah, I'm gonna go ahead and drop that. I'm gonna get this Black Authentic True Story, and we're gonna wrap it up with that. Okay. And let me get this Black Authentic True Story. All right. Drink some water. On March 26th, I'm sorry, let me start over. On March 26, 1944, a group of white men brutally lynched the Reverend Isaac Simmons, a Black minister and farmer, so they could steal his land in Amite County, Mississippi. Members of his family, some of whom witnessed his murder, fled the state, fearing for their lives. The white men responsible for the lynching were successful in stealing his land and were never convicted for their crimes. Before his death, the Reverend Simmons controlled more than 270 acres of debt-free Amite County land that his family had owned since 1887. This was very unusual among Black families in the South, where racism and poverty had posed obstacles to economic advancement for generations. The Reverend Simmons worked the land with his children and grandchildren, producing crops and selling the property's lumber. In 1941, a rumor spread that there were oil. I'm sorry, let me start over. In 1941, a rumor spread that there was oil in southeast Mississippi. A group of 6 white men decided they wanted Simmons' land and warned the Reverend to stop cutting the lumber. The Reverend Simmons consulted a lawyer to work out the dispute and ensure his children would be sole heirs to the property. On Sunday, March 26, 1944, the group of white men arrived at the home of Reverend Simmons' eldest son, Eldridge, and told him to show them the property line. He agreed to do so, but while Eldridge Simmons rode with the men in their vehicle, they began to beat him and shouted that Simmons' family that they were smart niggers for consulting a lawyer. The men then dragged the Reverend Simmons from his home about a mile away and began beating him too. They drove both the Simmons men further onto the property and ordered the Reverend Simmons out the car, then killed him brutally, shooting him 3 times and cutting out his tongue. The men let Eldridge Simmons go, but told him he and his relatives had 10 days to abandon the family property. The white man who committed the lynching took possession of the land. The constable and sheriff concluded immediately that the Reverend Simmons had met his death at the hands of parties unknown, even though his son, Eldridge, and his daughter, Laura, were present and able to identify by name at least 4 of the 6 men responsible. The family fled Amite County over the next 2 days, fearing for their lives before their father's funeral on March 29th. Eldridge remained in Amite for his father's funeral, but was taken into police custody the next day, supposedly for his own protection. Held in jail for more than a week despite being the victim, Eldridge was released from jail on April 8th and was urged to leave the county altogether. Only one of the 6 white men responsible was ever prosecuted for the Reverend Simmons lynching. On November 1st, 1944, more than 11 months after their father was lynched, Eldridge and his sister Laura were arrested in New Orleans on charges that they had fled the state in order to avoid testifying as witnesses in the trial of the only white man prosecuted for murdering their father. During the trial on November 11th, 1944, Eldridge and Laura refused to name the perpetrators in the testimony because they feared for their lives in the event of a conviction. The one man was ultimately acquitted by an all-white jury because of a lack of evidence. No one ever paid for this cruel injustice. This is the story of Reverend Isaac Simmons. Yeah. The story of Reverend Isaac Simmons. Now, what comes to mind is all of the brothers and sisters whose land was stolen or ran off of their land from the 1900s up until the 1960s. Okay. There's so many stories of Black people having land taken from them, being ran off of their land, and not even being able to get their land back today because the laws that are enacted are the statutes of limitations, where it says it's just been too long. It's been too long in order to be able to give the land back. Meanwhile, you have somebody on this land prospering and living a good old life when this land was stolen from some Black person. And it just made me think about, reparations. And I spoke a little bit about reparations not too long ago, about if we were to get money, that would not actually fix us because we have a lot of other problems and issues now at this point. But it's a start, okay? And it's just like when you think about reparations, it's just not about the people who had our ancestors enslaved. You have to think about everything that went into that. Now that money went into making textiles, went into making clothes. I have the video where you had all kind of companies that benefited from slavery. You had all of the top universities that benefited from the slave trade, either directly or indirectly. So when you talk about all of the money that is accumulated and all of the connections and all of the other people that prospered because of the cotton industry, and it's a number that will blow your mind. If they could tally the number, if they could come up with a number, it would be a number that is insurmountable. It would be, it'd be monies that's paid that would bankrupt America. Black people would literally change places with white people if we lived in a just world. We don't live in a just world though. And so this brother, his family is still living today, and they still can't get the land that was stolen from him, that was taken from him unjustly. And they took his life, ran his family off the land. And today somebody else owns the land. I believe the land is private property where people go hunting. So yeah, that's the Black Authentic Truth story. Okay. So that's all I got for y'all today. That's what I came with. I'll have another program next Wednesday. I'm sorry, not Wednesday. I'm thinking about my class. I'll have another next Sunday. I'll be here next Sunday. Lord willing, I'll be here. Bring some heat, bring some good stories, bring some good history, and we'll get it rocking and rolling once again. Shout out to everybody that was rocking with me. Tyrell, shout out to you, man. Tyrell V rocking with me, man. You was up in here. Barath Nawa was up in here. Let me see. Let me go up real quick. Karl Moss Buff was in here. Let's see who else is in here. I got some other people in here. Y'all ain't tapping in the comments though. Renee Gaines was up in here. As always, a lot of these people are regulars that support Black Authentic Truth from its inception. You know what I mean? So yeah, man. Y'all make sure if you up out, peace to you, brother. Thank you. Thank you. I appreciate that. I definitely appreciate that, Tyrell. Appreciate that. Yeah, if you're in California, it might be heat waves on the west coast of America. I don't know. I ain't following the weather like that. I just know where I'm at. It's hot. If you're in California, man, stay hydrated. Southern California, get some water, get you some electrolytes and stay hydrated. Stay out the way, stay out the sun. And yes, we'll be back next Sunday. And with that, this is Black Authentic Truth, y'all. All right. Let me play this and we'll be up out of here.